what's most concerning also is that the freezer door has a lock on it.
And they first denied me. And I asked her for the sergeant name, the police name, and the detective name, and the sergeant name. Yeah. When I asked the sergeant for his badge number, then he said, I got to talk to the morgue. I said, can I see how my baby laying down there, you know, how she feel, how she died? Yeah. And they wouldn't let me see my baby from 1:30 a.m. in the morning of today. Yeah. Until about.
Okay, there's a video going around right now about the lower level kitchen where the person who made the video is claiming that they can see Kenneka being murdered over in the corner, and there's some shady people walking around. He even says, there's 4 or 5 of them, there's 4 or 5 of them. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. And he moves the camera around and everybody goes, oh my God, look at that, it's real, it's real. And it's totally bogus. It's completely bogus crap. Okay, just watch. This is what he's claiming, right?
I can't explain. As soon as I seen it, I let y'all see it. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it too. All right. I can't explain it right now. I seen it, and y'all see it too. Okay. There's no time for no narrating right now. Just watch. Watch. Please, just watch. One time, just watch. It's the hotel manager. That's the hotel manager.
Okay, yeah, this is totally bogus. All right, that's not the hotel manager. It's a worker at the hotel who's filling up garbage can size buckets. I've seen them before when I worked at a restaurant. You just fill them up with ice, and then you go around and you distribute the ice in places that it's needed. You know, like salad bars, etc. Okay, that's all this person's doing. Now watch, I actually synced up his video. He loops it around over and over again, make it seem like there's a whole bunch of people. He even says, oh, there's like 4 or 5 of them. It's insane. Let me just, I'll play that for you, and then you can also hear what he's saying in the background.
The one who opened the refrigerator door. And a big black dude, and when I come over here, there's a whole lot of them right here, like 4 or 5 of them right here. Everybody knew about it, y'all. Everybody.
Alright, so did you hear that? There's like 4 or 5 of them right here. Everybody knew about it, y'all. I mean, this is ridiculous, okay? And this guy and a few other people have been putting out these videos this entire time, working a lot of people up. I had 3 people message me this morning. Like, is this one true? Is this one true? And no, it's not true at all. It's actually embarrassing. Okay, so what I did was I found the actual time with some help. There was a person who actually found the exact time code and gave it to me. I had seen other people also shoveling ice, but the video I had actually, for some reason, was frozen at a certain point. But this one shows exactly the same video that's right over here, is right here, except as you can see, he wiggles his camera around, makes everything look nefarious, kind of like that original video when that woman claimed that she had the original footage, but then they deleted it off the news. You know, and they showed these guys in the conference room doorway and a person with a ponytail, which was a shadow on the screen. I mean, it was a total joke. Okay? It's embarrassing. And what's more embarrassing is how many people actually believe these types of videos. Okay, if you're not looking at the actual real footage, don't believe it. Okay, now as you can see right here, they're lined up and they're exactly the same. See that? The guy's right there, but he changed the contrast up and all kinds of different stuff going on. See that? He even turns his head right there, turns his head. It's exactly the same. And he slowed it down. I slowed mine down 75 to 75% of the actual speed, and now it all matches up. See how he goes right behind that at the same time? So we slowed it down too, because slowing things down also makes things look a little bit more nefarious, okay? So let's just look at the actual footage in its real size, okay? So here it is. And I'm going to hit play. And see, there's a guy walking around. And he walks over there. And this guy's shoveling ice into the bucket. Okay? He's just putting ice into the bucket over and over again. And eventually it gets full. And then he just, he's going to wheel the, I call it a bucket. It's more like a barrel with wheels on it. But, he pushes it away, and that's it. There's absolutely nothing nefarious going on at all in this surveillance footage.
What? It was about what time? About for like 4 hours after that.
Yeah.
Then that's when they pronounced her dead.
Okay. And how are they saying?
Wait, no, they told me I'm sorry. They told us she was dead at 1 something, but they didn't let me see her body until 4 hours later. They did let me see. They refused my mother, my sisters, her uncles. They refused my family to see her. They said only you and your daughter can see it, and you can't take pictures because this is a crime scene.
And this is still in the deep freeze.
This in the deep freezer, but at this time they had let the morgue take her, move her, defrost the freezer.
Right.
Her hair had soap and water up on there.
Yeah.
She was defrosted in the freezer. They defrost the whole freezer.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it gave 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
But I asked her, can I see my daughter? Why I can't see how she died? Why I can't see? Because I know in the deep freezer, I know at my job, you had to pull open there. Remind you can't even hold your balance.
Yeah.
Walking.
Right.
So now you got to struggle, and at my job with our coolers, you got to have some strength to yank these doors open.
Yeah.
Now remind you, they said she couldn't barely hold herself up, yet alone pull open the door.
Right.
And they said, the police department said, freak accidents like that do happen.
So they're saying
and they said they didn't see her. And it's a camera sitting right in front of the cooler. They didn't see how she got in there.
So they
didn't even see her yank
that they're
herself.
trying to tell
I said, this the detectives that was out there.
Okay.
And then he was the one that was out there when they first discovered. They study coming in there. We sitting in the lot. We wasn't even allowed to. When they discovered the body, we wasn't even allowed to stand in the hotel lobby. They put us out. We had to stand outside and look, and we had to look on the 11th floor. We just looking, just hoping and praying that we could get some kind of help, because people looking at us like, just they looking at us.
Yeah.
Looking like what they doing out here.
What are you doing? Right.
And we was forbidden to come back in the hotel room. So we studied, trying begging for help. The police department couldn't even help us. After they found my baby dead, they couldn't even help us. Them bastards! They couldn't even help us.
And double freezer. Walked in the freezer, closed the door behind herself, and just froze to death.
Right.
So, I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
I said, so she couldn't get out? He said, no, she couldn't get out. Because once you locked in, you locked in.
Right. But he doesn't know what you know about freezers at that time.
Exactly.
Did you go into the actual freezer that your daughter was in? Did you try to see what your the theory how you get out of it if you're in that particular freezer?
Okay, well, I'll tell you like this. We wasn't ever to actually go inside their freezer, but they had both of the doors open. I asked him when I first went back there, so you're saying it's a double freezer? He said, yes, but on our way back there, if you can see in the video, I'm pointing my finger. I'm looking for cameras. I'm looking for cameras because that's my purpose, because you can't tell me this happened with no camera in around, and every time I point, I see a camera. Except when we go by the freezer, that's like blocked off, which it was a camera above that freezer. And, okay, we're going to go back to that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. When I go back to the freezer, they had both of the doors open, and I'm like, here go a glow-in-the-dark plastic release button, big white glow-in-the-dark. I said, so is this a release button? He said, the detective said, yes. And the sergeant standing back there with us as well. As I said, we were being watched as if we're the criminal, right. we did this to my daughter, as if we was going to get arrested. So he stated, I mean, I asked him with the other freezer, you know, the second door. I said, is this a release button? Big white button. Maybe, as they say, you couldn't see, but it was lightning in the freezer. And only thing we saw on the floor was a big piece of ice made in a triangle. You know, like, you know, and I'm like, okay. I said, so I that's when I stated, I work in the cafeteria. I've been working there for 7 years. I say, there shouldn't have been no way that she shouldn't have been able to get out these doors. I thought you told me, and I asked the detective, you said that she couldn't get out. How is that when is, you know, release buttons on each one of these doors? And he just shook his head, you know.
He doesn't understand.
So where are you now as far as what it is that you want to see? You know, they've closed the case officially. I know that you guys are not happy about that and you want to continue the investigation. So what do you want to see happen? Where do you see this going from here? Are you trying to get more people to come in and reopen the case? What is it that you want to do?
Yes, I would love for the FBI to come in. The reason why I say that, they stated it was a natural cause before any medical examiner or anything. So the Rosemont Police Department knew this would happen with no professionals.
Even up in a freezer, because if she was intoxicated, as they say, they saw my mom at 3:30. They saw her holding on the wall, walking towards the employee area. So when she was on the wall, she was barely able to stand up on her own. The refrigerators they took us to was 2 and 1. You had to open one door to get in another door. How she had that much strength when she couldn't even walk up straight in a straight line? It's not adding up. It's not. And then when they took us back there to the refrigerator, it's a camera. It's not right there by the refrigerator, but the door that you enter before you get to the refrigerator, it's a camera right there. And my mama told them that, my mama asked them, do that camera work? And the investigators, the ward, whoever they was, they said they're not sure.
So they haven't looked at that camera?
I don't think so, because they told me, they showed me all the cameras in the building. Then they came back like an hour or two later, after we called them back and told them it looked like somebody peeking at us at the window. That's what made them come back. Because we called them back and told them it looked like somebody looking at their window, started picking in and out. The police took his binoculars and he looked up there, he saw the blind kept moving and the light was on. But when they went up there, they said they didn't see anything. But then they say they didn't see anything, but then they start suspecting the hotel. And it's like then a couple of hours later they come at 3:30 the video saw her stumbling, walking towards the freeway, walking on the wall. But they say they saw her walking towards the freezer. But after they saw her walking towards the freezer, they didn't see nothing else. They wasn't able to tell if somebody was on the side of the freezer or not. It's not adding up.
So you think there's more video that you'd like to see?
Yes, I want to see. They haven't showed us the video with her stomach. They told us about that. Now they showed us the video of her coming in at 1:13. They showed that because I identified my sister and her two friends that walked in through the parking garage way. They came in through the back. They told us it's a lot of ways out of this hotel, but it's only two exits. Could you get this exit with cameras? They say that any exit you can leave out after they shut the rest of the doors. They say you can't come in, but you can leave out on.
You know, they said it wasn't no sexual harassment or any, I mean, you know, assaults
Not
or whatever.
being assaulted sexually.
Right.
Exactly. You know, but how is that? From looking at the pictures, obviously you'll see that it was something going on. At least, you know, with that, if you would have just saw it without being a professional doctor or whatever, examiner or whatever, first thought would have been them being professional cops. Hey, it's something had to go on. And then to come to find out, after all that, at the closing meeting, my daughter asked them, did you all take fingerprints? And they said no. Why not?
Right.
Why not?
Dust the body, right?
You know what I'm saying? Because I work in the cafeteria once, as I mentioned, and in the cafeteria, you got to clean up behind yourself.
Yeah.
That's sanitation, you know?
So, question, well, two things. One is because the Rosemont police did actually turn down, because the FBI at one time
They
make
said
an
that
offer?
if they were reached out.
Also is that the freezer door has a lock on it. This is a lock that you can prevent somebody from the inside from getting out if it's pressed. And we believe that it's very possible that this door, for reasons that we cannot explain, without ever looking in the freezer, someone came and locked this freezer door so that Kenneka could not exit the door. Now, there have not been adequate answers that have been provided by the Crown Plaza Hotel. We have the police report. We have what they've described to us as the video, and the most revealing place on the video is that we see Kenneka entering this kitchen that it was under construction at 3:30. We know that the Crown Plaza and the security company knew that she was missing at that very time, that they were reporting to the family that they were doing their best to find her. All they had to do was look on the video, and they would see that Kenneka was wandering the hotel, and they would see that she had wandered into the kitchen. There is no explanation that we've received at this time why Crown Plaza, why the security company, and why the Caddyshack Murray Brothers restaurant didn't do anything for nearly a day and a half, and that her body supposedly lay there until it was allegedly discovered, I believe, at about 12:30 a.m. the next day. And by the way, then her body stayed there for nearly 5 hours while the family waited to find out what had happened to Kenneka. So we expect to get all that information during this pretrial discovery process. The complaint's been filed, the defendants have an opportunity